I just need to make one good beat today. I'm just gonna lay down these keys. Sounds promising, yo. Yo, this is pretty good. Sounds promising, yo. Wait, hold a minute. Wait a minute. Why does it sound so familiar? Oh, huh. Is that meme song, huh? You know what? I think I may be beat blocked right now, actually. I'm just gonna shoot this video, though.
Right now, I don't have any like professional lights, so we're gonna have to use this for lighting. Hydration. Look, don't worry if you're beat blocked. It happens to the best of us. The best producers in the world, they get stuck sometimes. You can't maintain your creative energy forever. There's going to be a period of time where you're stuck in a cycle of bad energy. And I'm gonna give you 10 tips on how to get out of there and start making fire beats again, because you have it in you. I believe in you. Before I get to those 10 tips, if you haven't done so already, if you're new to this channel, please hit the subscribe button. I'd really appreciate you checking out this video, but I also want to hook you up with more and more knowledge and content. I want to grow my community and help those around me. So if you could subscribe, that would really help. And don't forget to click the bell notification so you get notified every time I post a new video. So tip number one, kind of just start everything off, is to understand why you're beat blocked. There's many sources of what could be blocking your creative energy. And the first step to fixing all of that is figuring out, learning more about yourself and becoming self-aware of what's causing those problems. It can come from many reasons of why you're lacking creative energy, right? One could be you're making the same beat over and over again and just getting bored of the same style. Happens to me all the time. Another reason could be other stuff is happening in your life right now that's affecting your creative energy. Like you're going through a breakup or going through some family stuff. You're having tough times financially. Those are just a few possibilities of why you could be beat blocked. Start by understanding you and become more self-aware of what's causing you those problems so that you know how to target them and get out of those situations. Tip number two is to listen to other genres of music. For me, one of the reasons why I get beat blocked sometimes is because I just make the same genre of music over and over again. And then at a certain point, it just stops becoming interesting for me. And I lose all that energy and I lose all the excitement every single time I try to make a beat. So what I found to be really useful is to listen to other genres of music. Like if I'm making melodic beats for Juice WRLD over and over again, eventually that's gonna get boring. So what I like to do is trace back to the genre that inspired the genre that you're making right now. So for Juice, you know, if you go back to his interviews, you listen to a lot of alternative rock, he started out like making rock music, right? So I go back to those genres of music and then draw inspirations from the other elements within those other genres of music, and then take those elements and apply it to my own niche where I can add more ideas and become more inspired and get more excited next time I make a beat. Tip number three is to watch tutorials on YouTube. For my years of producing, what I've started to realize is that your creativity sometimes comes from your technique. So what I mean by that is by watching tutorials on YouTube or just watching other producers cook up, like, you know, watching Nick Mira make beats for 4 hours or watching Kenny Beats cooking up live with Charlie Puth or whatever. As you watch these other producers work, you start to learn new techniques and learn new ways of making certain sounds or coming up with melodies or just new methods, right? And a lot of times the way you make certain sounds and the technique that you use inspires you musically. So by learning these new techniques, you're giving yourself more tools to create what you want to do and to paint that picture into your DAW or into your listeners' ears. So tip number three, watch tutorials on YouTube, watch other producers cook up. Tip number four, kind of building off finding inspiration with other people, collab with other producers. You have the internet at your disposal. You have access to every single producer in the world because most of them are online in some shape or form, right? You have access to all these resources. Hit up other producers and collab. Build ideas off of each other. Sometimes it's hard to come up with ideas completely on your own, and that's fine. Get someone else to help you, right? If you can't make up melodies, ask other producers for melodies. Some of them may charge you. Others are more than happy to work with you for free. Get ideas from other producers and build off of each other. Tip number five, sing. Now there's two benefits of singing that could help you get rid of beat blocked. One is that Oftentimes when you're beat blocked is because you overcomplicate things. Like you want to take your beats to the next level, but what ends up happening is you overcomplicate melodies or overcomplicate your sound design or other stuff. By singing, you're making your melodies a lot more simpler, and often that's what makes it more catchy and more appealing. And the second benefit is that when you're singing, you're really putting yourself in the perspective of an artist. Because at the end of the day, the artist or rapper, he's gonna sing or she's gonna sing or lay some type of flow on top of your beat. So if you can sing that in your head and then picture an artist singing a certain melody or maybe rapping in a certain cadence, then that will help you picture the beat and inspire you to build your instrumental around that idea that you came up in your head to ensure that the artist has some type of idea to work off of. So singing is really crucial. You don't have to be a great singer. You don't even have to sing in key. You just have to sing well enough for you to understand the melody that you're trying to come up with in your head. Tip number 6, kind of going off of singing, is to play an instrument. Now, not all of you know how to play an instrument, and I get it. Like, you know, we didn't all grow up in an environment where you learn how to play an instrument. You might have not been part of a band or anything. But if you do have access to, like, you know, a simple MIDI keyboard or maybe like a guitar or something, I don't know, like it could be drums, right? Like this little, some type of instrument. You could just be banging on sticks. But the reason I give you this tip is because a lot of the times you're just clicking melodies on FL Studio, or you're filling in the step sequencer, and it's very computerized. You're telling the computer to do certain things and it comes up with the melody for you, right? And that kind of draws away the creative aspect of music and just makes it sound really dull sometimes. And in order to fuel your creativity, you need to sound more human, and you need to have that level of humanity in your music. And a lot of times you can achieve that effect by just playing with a musical instrument. You might not be the best at piano, you might be complete trash, but by just experimenting with notes on an instrument and then knowing that this is what a human would do, then it draws your mind to create a lot more ideas and be a lot more musical than just clicking notes on FL Studio. Because doing that too often, it does take away your energy, and eventually your beats do sound very, very robotic. So make sure you inspire yourself by doing very simple things. Like if you don't have access to any instruments, just get a pencil and start banging on your table and come up with drum patterns. Be creative. Think of unique ways to express yourself that doesn't involve just clicking on your computer, because that does, again, take away your energy. All right, tip number 7. We're going a little bit more spiritual with this one. Go outside, man. Go for a walk. Hopefully, if you're not too strictly quarantined, wear a mask or whatever, right? Go outside, go for a walk. Look at nature and stuff. Look at trees, look at animals, whatever. A lot of the times we're stuck in our rooms trying to come up with a beat. It's not working out. Change up the environment, change up the atmosphere. Find natural ways to give you more energy. And what I like to do is just to go outside. Like, it doesn't matter where you are, just change up the environment that you're in. And that will instantly just change up your mentality and give you a little bit of your creativity boost that you desperately need when you're beat blocked. Because your body is tied closely to your mind. And if you're constantly cramped in your room, it's not good for your mind either. Now, tip number 8 is something that I've been using constantly, and that's to work with samples that you normally wouldn't use. There's no rules to music. There's no rules saying that you have to sample an old school R&B song to make a fire beat. There's no rule saying that, right? You could sample anything you want, and the more crazy you are with the samples that you use, the more creative and the more room that you have for growing your mind and stimulating your beat making abilities. What I mean by using creative samples, think of everything that emits a certain type of sound. Even if it's not musical, you have the ability as a producer to turn it into something that's musical. And that's the beauty of production, is that you're turning something that's not musical at all into something that's eventually going to be made into a song. Sometimes you're too focused in picking the right sounds and picking the right moods that we forget that music can be made from anything. For example, one time I was really beat blocked, couldn't think of anything. All of a sudden, I remember learning about this type of monkey in science class called the howler monkey, which made this like really crazy sound. And then I just went on YouTube and looked up howler monkey. I just sampled the howler monkey. I played it on a loop, auto-tuned it a little bit, made it into a beat, I sold it within the first day. Don't be too restrained on using certain sample packs or using certain sounds or using certain VSTs. Experiment by using crazy sounds that you normally wouldn't use, and that will stimulate your mind and work you towards the next level and get you out of that beat block. Tip number 9 is to turn off all your distractions. A lot of the times you're beat blocked because you have so many other things going on in your life that you literally just can't focus on music. Throw your phone on the bed. Don't look at your phone, right? Like that takes away your energy. Going on your phone and seeing if that girl replied to you, that's taking away energy that you could be using into finding a new creative way of making beats. Like if you say that you're gonna dedicate a certain amount of time making a beat, then don't take away that precious time by distracting yourself with other devices and other nuances. I have a really bad habit of doing this. Like I'll be on Instagram while making a loop. Is bad habit. I'm trying to get rid of it as well. And what I've realized is that the time that I spend on my phone is taking away my creative energy. So turn off all distractions, just focus on music. It's gonna help you think better. Last but not least, tip number 10 is drugs. Do what you gotta do to create, right? Just kidding. I do not condone drugs. Don't do drugs. Don't. Just don't. Just don't do drugs. But anyways, that's my 10 tips on how to get out of beat block. I hope by implementing any of them, you can get out of that state where you're just so stuck and can't think of any good ideas. I hate that feeling. I just hope that I can provide some help to get you out of that mentality. But if you think any of these ideas are useful that you can implement right now, please hit the subscribe button. Leave a comment on what I should do next, like the video, do something to help me grow the community, because ultimately I'm gonna get to spread this message to more and more people, which I find to be very good for the producer community. And last but not least, I know beat block sucks. I wanna hook you up with my new drum kit, Shen Slap Pack Volume 1. To get it, all you have to do is click the link in the description and you get an instant download link. Go get it. Hopefully it helps you out of beat block, and it's something I can do to you practically. Even if you can't use any of those 10 tips, hopefully you can use that drum kit and make some fire with it. That's all I have to say. Peace out.